Okay. Fresh battery back on the trail. I killed about an hour. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go take a right, and I'm gonna have to get off the bike and hoof it up the side. A little cliff. Might be able to ride a little bit. A lot of that is too steep of a grade to climb. And I know there's a part where there's a rock face and boulders. And it looks like somebody's come through here and cleaned stuff up a bit, actually. Last time I came through here, this was super overgrown. I wonder if they're building a trail out this direction. Hello, tree. So yeah, that was very much overgrown and almost impassable the last time that I came through here. Is it somebody's sock? Yeah, somebody's sock. This looks like maybe an alternate way up the thing. I don't know. Maybe that other direction was the one I wasn't familiar with. And you could definitely come down this with a little bit of skill. I, however, have been riding for 6 months, and no. I wouldn't even try to ride down this. It's ridiculous. I look at you crazy for even suggesting it, but it does look like somebody cut a trail over there. It goes around all this up that way. You know what? So this way is the way I normally go to get up there. That requires rock climbing. And I'm curious where this other trail goes. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna not ride back down this like I said I wouldn't. I'm gonna see where this goes, because this was not here. Okay, yeah, that's gonna be too rough to ride up, but it looks like, I think somebody came through here and cut a trail. It actually wouldn't be too hard to say that. Looks like they just cut a trail up to this. Maybe this is where all the animals come to forage for truffles. Yeah, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. Well, that's what I get for exploring. Okay, this is somewhat passable. It looks like, okay, yeah, somebody's been working on this. Yeah, absolutely, somebody's been working on this. Because, like, you see this pile of rocks here? Somebody has piled all of that up to make it more rideable, like stepping stones. Like, don't get me wrong, you're not gonna ride up this, but you could absolutely ride down this. I'm pretty sure these two big boulders right here were actually stacked right there where all that stuff is now, and you had to climb up them. I've done that with my bike on my shoulder a couple of times, but this is just like walking up. I mean, I'm gonna pick the bike up anyways, but I mean, it's just steps. You could absolutely ride down this. Ooh, there's some of them a little loose. I don't know if I'd recommend it, but for some of y'all that are a little more experienced and I'll just say it, ballsy. Look at that. Like, I just walked right up it. Yeah, somebody has definitely been out here and made that a little more mountain biker friendly. And there's never a problem hiking. You could always just climb up that. So this trail is pretty nice in that it's not as chunky as that first one we rode earlier today. But you have these little rocks like this. It'll be dirt, 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 and then obnoxiously large rock in the middle of the trail. I would not call this a green trail just for that. I don't know. I think I did list it as green. And it might be. I guess it really just depends. But yeah, look at this giant rock right here. Like, how do you even ride that? Like, you'd have to bunny hop over that. And there's another one coming up here. Like right here. Like, yeah, you pretty much have to bunny hop over it, or at least pop your fork up, front wheel up. So up here, this trail will actually split into two trails at a junction. One time I was riding up here, and I guess there was a armadillo, lots of armadillos up here, but he was hanging out in between the split and the trail I guess I scared him because he took off running down the trail. He just happened to take off running down the one I was going to go down. So armadillos just run down the trail and I'm chasing him. I wasn't really chasing him. I wasn't trying to scare him. He just happened to be going the same way I was. So eventually, finally dove off the trail into the trees, and I went on about my day. But it's kind of neat. I see a lot of wildlife out here. So far, I've seen lots of armadillo. Matter of fact, there's a trail on the other side of the park called Armadillo Trail. Oh, did I just make it up this? That's the first time I've done that without having to dab it. For those of you not familiar, dabbing is not a childish thing where you bury your face in your arms and pretend to be sad. But in mountain biking terms, dabbing, ooh, I almost lost that one, is when you lose your balance and you gotta set your foot down for a second. You don't quite fall off your bike in a dab. You just pop your foot down and keep going. But your microphone's covered in water. I'm sure that's not good. You know, I've been fighting with this all morning. I'm just gonna move the microphone. It is indeed soaking wet. That's great. I don't think a wet dead cat is very good. It is 11:24 and the sun has arrived. You might be a little late to the party. Oh, I did not get a good start on that. Might be a little late to the party, but he is here. Okay. Trying to start off going uphill on rocky stuff. It's really tough. I've seen some of you pro folks do that. I don't get it. Feel free, hit me up in the comments and tell me how dumb I am. Because taking off in the rocky terrain uphill just seems ridiculous. Here we are. Somebody even cleared this out. Don't drive off this. Oh, there goes an eagle. Or a hawk. Or some bird-shaped object. So we're about halfway through my ride at Miller Springs. And if you've been with me, when we first started, we went all the way up that hill, rode some trails that zigzagged through there, and we came down the edge of that tree line. There's a fence over there, and then cut right and did that downhill strip. It's a pretty big place. Like, it's not massive by any means. It's not a huge national park or anything like that. It's just a little local wildlife preserve type thing, or nature preserve. But they've done a good job with the trail system in that there's a lot of trail. There's some more chunky, rocky stuff that just likes to pop up out of nowhere. I guess this one's really better than that first trail we rode earlier today. It really is. I could call this green, I guess. Like, the rocks are kind of annoying. Sometimes there's some roots. Here's some roots. Watch out for those. Did you know that if your front wheel and your back wheel hit a different root at the same time, and you're not going fast enough, you can go over the handlebars? Had that one happen. So, I guess that's a good tip I can throw at you guys. Everybody always wants to try to go slow. And I'm not saying you got to tear through the trail. You want to find a good, consistent cadence in your pedaling and try to maintain a decent speed. It doesn't have to be super fast, but you don't want it to be too slow, because it's actually harder to balance at a slower speed. The faster you go, the easier it is to stay up. Well, to a point. You will reach a point when you're going so fast that it's kind of sketchy and you get a little scared and it's hard to control. And you'll probably see some of that here in just a minute as I turn around and go back down into the valley, because the only trail that goes down from here is the one I came up on the other end. The one on the other end is basically like completely rocky gravel pit runoff ditch, if you want to call it that, I guess. An interesting rock face right there. I'm sure that my tire loved it. It's okay. I'll burn these tires out, I'm gonna get better tires. So at this point, I'm just riding this bike to death. Maybe not death, I did put a new fork on it. But that was just because the stock fork that it came with was garbage. Not even meant for trails. Came with that warning sticker that most entry-level bikes have that says, hey, I know that you want this bike because it looks cool and it's made for mountain biking, but it's not made for mountain biking. This fork cannot do anything that this bike is meant to do. Please don't take this on a trail because you will hurt yourself. Which is not really true. I rode this trail with that fork. I rode some of those other trails we rode today with that fork. I think it can handle a lot more than you would think. But inevitably, it was a 100mm travel, I think. Oh, just clearly not rated for. Ooh, and dab. That's it, right there. That's what just happened. Almost fell over. Had to put my foot down. Anyways, so entry-level bike, stock Suntour fork, 100mm travel. Just not really made for this kind of terrain. You're definitely not supposed to be doing jumps and drops, and when they get out and start mountain bike riding, I watch those videos and they see people flying through the air and they want to do all that stuff. They're like, yeah, I can do it. Whatever you do, don't go buy a bike from a department store, because if they even have a fork that's that good, that's the best you're gonna get, and it's not good. What's the difference? How do I know? I did it. Just trust me. I'm just kidding. I'll tell you how I did it. So that jump that we hit earlier, I had my kid out with me when we first came out here. I was too scared to do it the first time, but she was like, oh, come on, you can do it, Dad. I was like, okay. So I took another run at it, and I did it. Hit the jump, and she had her phone out and took a video of me doing it. The moment I hit the ground, the wheels hit the ground. I didn't hit the ground. I was fine. The moment the wheels hit the ground, you can watch the fork compress, and you could tell that it bottomed out. I didn't feel it when it happened. I actually honestly didn't even notice this until I watched the video after the fact. So it was might have been pretty close to being just enough. But something else to take into account too. I'm also over 6 feet tall, almost 200 pounds, and I'm a big old dude. Not a huge guy, but I ain't little. And that little bitty fork was not enough. Not enough by any means. Okay, so here's the part I was telling you about. Oh, look, that would a nice little drop right there, but I go off this easy route. Okay, and then I'm in the shade. I'm gonna take a second to water up because I am not going to get a chance to until I get to the bottom of this. This is probably one of the funner parts. It's a little sketch though because it's 100% rock. Oh. All right, here we go. This is where it gets fun. This is sketchy. I like it. Oh me gusta. Ooh, almost lost it. Not done yet. These tires are going. I lost the footing on the pedal. Yeah, you see how I slowed down and almost lost it? Genuinely, it's easier. Keep the momentum, speed. Okay, so